most agents stop after the first 6 phone calls?
Well, most agents stop after the first 2 phone calls.
Sorry, first 2 phone calls.
We have done the same thing. I mean, we were the kings of it because wherever you guys are at, you know, for example, we're at a point where we're getting 500 plus leads a month. It's overwhelming, and it's sometimes it's chaotic. So whether you're getting 20 leads a month, 100 leads a month, whatever it is, you know, but whether you're 12 months into it, well, now you got over 1,000 people in your back-end system, and maybe you haven't got a hold of a lot of them, but the whole idea there is that most people are just, because you get busy with whatever life, and then you're always trying to stay on top of the people that are now coming in, and you forget about those people that are 3 months into it. Those are probably your hottest people, by the way, because most people that come on a website are not buying right away. It's a huge follow-up game too, just like we were talking about. You got to have. We're really working on our follow-up emails and, you know, providing things of value so we're known as the experts. But you got to call them. I mean, don't stop after 2 or 3 times. I mean, you need to be making at least 6 contacts, and that's why we like to do the you know, basically 6 contacts the first 2 days, and then on the 8th one, you know, hopefully you're getting a hold of them. So.
And the whole goal in that is if somebody sees the same phone number calling them that many times, they're probably going to answer at some point because they think it's important.
They're gonna do that. Yeah, exactly. So here's a couple things. I don't want to get too off track here, but a couple things that you guys can look into down the road if you guys ever wanted to. So there's different models with this. You guys, you know, you guys are the ones that need to be going out there getting business, working with the now people, and it's sometimes, depending on how many transactions you're doing, it can get hard to do your now business, do all the paperwork, and follow up all these leads. So if you have buyer's agents, obviously, you know, you set up some sort of system there. Like for us, for example, we do floor time. So, you know, one day is Tim's day, the next day is Josh, and so on and so on. So they are in the office. They don't schedule anything else. They're in the office responding to those agents immediately, or leads immediately. Now, there's different models. So we're looking into all this. There's what you call an ISA, and that's an inside sales agent. And basically all this person does, and we tried this for a while. I didn't spend a ton of time training them, so I failed on that. But it's still a great model that a lot of agents do, as long as it's all about training, making sure they're on top of it with their scripts and basically your ideal as a telemarketer is someone that you want for this job. And all they're doing is they're the ones calling your leads and scrubbing them for you. And they're sending you the hot ones, and then they're kind of putting them up on, they're following up with them. So that way they're doing the follow-up. And you can, you know, pay schedule or pay is, you can do this so many different ways, so I don't want to go into that. Another one model is there's just a general lead coordinator, where it's almost the same thing, and whether you're the only agent on your team and your lead coordinator is really scrubbing them and giving them to you, or the lead coordinator, if you have agents, they're the ones that are passing those leads out once they qualify them, and they're depending on their license or unlicensed. Of course, if they're unlicensed, they can only do so much, but if they're licensed, you can really have them take them through the whole pain funnel, the buyer intake form, so then once they get to you, they're ready to go out and they're showing, and you're writing them a contract. The other model too that is kind of a new thing is as a showing assistant. So this obviously needs to be a licensed person. This is where you have your agents, and then underneath them are basically showing assistants, where all they do is show homes. They don't write contracts, they don't negotiate, they are just there to show homes, that's it. So that's allowing, you know, showing homes is probably what takes up the majority of our time, right? So if you have a showing assistant, you know, you pay them an hourly fee where, you know, it gives them some income, and they kind of work on their own business as well, and then it frees up your time to go work with, whether it's negotiating seller, you know, prospecting seller leads, or whatever. What's the highest dollar productive activity that you should be doing as, you know, in your role? So there's different ways you can do this, but I don't want to. There's a lot to those, and I would say just kind of do your own, you know, do your research and see what's kind of working. And a lot of different teams around the country that are doing all these, and they all seem to be doing. Ben Kinney's a great guy to look into if you guys haven't already. Or if you don't know, I'll tell you about some people that I'm all about. I'm a huge reader. I love to read. I love constantly researching. What are other agents doing? And a lot of times it's not even other agents. It's other people in different industries. You know, it's Dan Kennedy. You know, I don't know if you guys know who this guy is, but if look into him. Do your research on him. This guy is probably the best online marketer that there is, and that's ultimately what we're doing here is we're doing online marketing. And really with that whole model is you're providing things of value, but that him and also Frank Kern is another guy that Frank Kern, Dan Kennedy basically was Frank Kern's mentor, and he's done Kern. Again, so the whole idea here that if you're not getting a hold of them right away, you want to try to provide things of value, whether it's you're doing, send them stuff through Keeping Current Matters, or maybe get some ideas from Dan Kennedy, or you do a newsletter thing. Again, you're just trying to be known as you're the expert. You're the go-to person in real estate. You're not trying to no hard selling. With that, I don't think that works anymore. I don't know when it ever really worked, but again, you want to be known as the expert. Some books that you guys want to read, because if you're talking internet, we're talking lead gen. I haven't even started to read these yet, but I've heard some great. I just bought both of them on my on iBooks. Is Telephone Sales for Dummies. This is by Dirk Zeller. He's a really good. He's basically your telemarketer. Right. Another one is Smart Selling on the Phone and Online. So those are two books I was going to tell you guys about. The other thing too, like, for example, we hired an outside sales trainer. He wasn't real estate specific. A lot of what, as far as the pain stuff and having a clear future, basically our whole thing is we want to take them to no as fast as possible. We celebrate a no, just because, like I said, when 95% plus are not going to be using you anyway, you're going to get a lot of no's. So we use Sandler training, and it's just been a great way to.
You say
Sandler, yep, Sandler, and it's been really, when we first looked into Mike Ferry, you got Brian Buffini, and those guys they're all great, and obviously they work well for a lot of people. We wanted to take a different approach because we were at the point where we were getting so many leads that we needed a system to trash most of these as fast as we could, basically. So that's where we went with this model, and it's hard to just talk about it, especially in a 1 hour session. It can get complicated, but when you do get to know it, we've been doing it for going on a year now, and I feel like it's made a huge difference. And again, if you're at the point where you're getting tons of leads, where you want to have a clear pipeline there.
Yeah. You mentioned Boomtown and Tiger Leads or whatever. So you just go and create a website with them?
No, well, they already have basically the back end and the front end of how it looks, basically, because they've tested it with tons of different agents and it works. So they just say, use our platform, and you basically they don't really let you customize it too much, and we're okay with that.
Right.
Lots of websites where you can customize it. Like, one thing we're going to be doing is, I just read this. Have you guys heard of Success Magazine? Great magazine. I read it front to cover every month, and within the last issue there was his name's Mike Koenig, basically, and what he does is, every prospect, they try to lead they try to control the situation or control the whole sales process, right? So we want to, what are the 10 most common questions that prospects ask, and then write those down, write out the answers, and then what are the top 10 questions that you would like them to ask, meaning what different, and those are going to kind of point out your differentiators. And then what you want to do is basically record those, whether it's on a flip or your iPhone. And so this is one thing I'm going to have Michaela, our IT person, I'm just going to have her make a pretty simple website that's going to kind of house all these videos. And because videos is a great way to get up on, whether it's YouTube, it's connected with Google. It's just, videos are some of the top pulled on when everyone's searching online, whether it's Google, Yahoo, or Bing. So we're going to be recording these, and then basically having them, we're going to have a landing page, and these are going to be things kind of of value, right? So we're going to be, okay, well, we're going to send them the first email, or the first email with the video if they find our site, whether we're putting them up through social networks or Facebook and all these different things. You can put them up, YouTube channels, and then once they see that first video, they're going to be compelled to watch the next one. Well, in order for them to watch that next video, we're going to require that they sign in, give us their name and email. And so again, all that's doing is just getting another way for you to get their contact information. Then they can have access to your videos that are things of value, and then you send them to them, and then you kind of set them up. Ideally you want to try to get a hold of them right away. If not, you're putting them on some sort of a drip campaign, and they're in your system, and you're being known as the expert. So that was another thing that I just read. But
Texting, like I find like calling a couple of times and then if you text, they text back right away.
yeah, I've texted at midnight before. It just, if it comes in late, I think I said this last time, where if a lead comes in real late and I know it's a cell phone, I'll just shoot them a text saying, hey, my name's Adam, and I saw you came on our website, and it's obviously pretty late, so I was going to see when would be a good time to catch you tomorrow. We do everything. I mean, we look on Facebook, kind of creeperish, but you want to get to know your prospect as best as you can. If they're on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever they're at. Adam is a friend. I've added tons of leads on Facebook, and it's just a great way, because then I always, I'm trying to get better at tweeting and all that stuff, but first they recognize, hey, I'm a real person. I just had a baby, so they see that. That's kind of a cool way, warming thing to kind of warm them up to you, or you're putting things up of value, or they kind of see whether we're putting our home sales up, or with me, I co-authored a book, so that's on one of our pictures, so people see it. Oh, well, this guy seems to know what he's doing. So it's just more of a way to build that trust and relationship with them. Really, it's a relationship business. That's really what we're doing here. So.